Hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season Number 5, American Division 2.3. This is Game 2 of a Best of 2 series between Isurus Gaming and Sad Voids. I'm GrandisV here on HeflaTV 1, and my goodness, that game number 1 was a very convincing win by Isurus. Although the very early portion of the game looked pretty even, there was just that one fight, and that was pretty much the one fight to rule them all. It started out in a really awkward way with Stormspirit over in the sidelines hunting for Tinker. But time and time again, we saw big RPs coming out from Dulce, and Pepito was absolutely untouched. I don't think you can have a better troll game than that. It really doesn't seem like it. He was at one point like 904, 250 CS at 25 minutes into the game. You just really can't top that. And, well, if you leave a troll with absolute free farm, literally absolute free farm, it really doesn't bode well for your team. It was pretty much just the troll as well as the Magnus on top of the net worth chart at the end of the game over pretty much everything that Sad Voids had, and we're going to see respect ban on the Magnus. And although it's Pepita to take the big flashy plays with the troll, I really think it was Dulce that allowed him to do it, giving him the extra cleave and damage coming out from Empower, and time again, those big RPs. I honestly think that this is a warranted ban. They'll have the troll banned out against them, and I think that that's also a warranted ban, as if Sad Voids are going to leave that in the pool, they'll probably snag it up themselves. The only Spin Lord that we have left available to both of these teams is Juggernaut, but instead, Sad Voids will snag themselves up a Lion, and it's going to be a pretty nice addition to their team no matter what it will be. You can't really say no to disable and burst damage. There's really just nobody that thinks that that's a bad thing to have on your team. Although he can be a somewhat greedy support and very squishy if isolated, I think the benefits definitely make up for the negatives. But then again, you are dealing now with a Juggernaut and Vengeful Spirit from Isurus Gaming. I think they're getting a decent chunk out of this first picking phase as well, as this is pretty much the ideal opener for quite a few different teams. We have yet to see Shadow Fiend inside the games between these two sides, and that's pretty interesting, at least for me. Looks like they haven't fully jumped onto the DAC bandwagon at least yet, but it's definitely something that Isurus like playing, and combos well with the Vengeful Spirit. I would not be surprised to see that banned out in the slightest. Well then, for Sad Voids, who knows what they're going to snag up? I mean, right now Lion, although he's a really nice hero, don't get me wrong, he doesn't mandate any other follow-up. He's pretty self-sufficient when it comes to what he does, although he's a pretty level-dependent support. Getting level 3 is absolutely crucial. Getting level 6, a decent timing is also very nice to have for your team. It's going to be Clockwork. And, well, fair enough. They do have defensive swaps to get people out of cogs, but for the most part, Clockwork is going to be able to set up a lot of kills for his team, and just having a way to jump is wonderful, and he's been seeing quite a resurgence. Scarith Mage should be a ban that's at least on the minds of Isurus, comboing well with the Clockwork and the Lion both. Ancient Seal plus Finger of Death equals ouch, and Cogs plus Mystic Flare also is equating the same thing. It really hurts. Storm Spirit, the ban coming out from Sad Voids, feeling that they don't really want to deal with that again, and fair enough. DDX was pretty suicidal on his Storm, but it ended up getting the job done. I mean, he'd trade his life away 9 times out of 10, or now when he'd actually jump and commit fully to something, but then again you have Pepita cleaning up, so I suppose if you're going to play that way, why not ban it out? And even though they have the Hex and the Earth Spike, as well as a hookshot to maybe keep the Storm in place, he's still a slippery little bugger. There's quite a little bit more that you'd like to have to keep the Storm in check. Well then, we'll wait for the next couple of bans here. I'd probably expect Scarlet to be banned out by Isurus, but maybe there's something else that they have in mind, maybe setting up for another one of their picks. And Witch Doctor, also a fine ban. Not something that I actually talked about earlier, but definitely worthwhile to take him out of the pool. Functions in a similar fashion to the Scarlet Mage when it comes to his synergy with the Clockwork, and although there's not as much direct synergy with the Lion, as far as top tier supports are concerned, Witch Doctor's pretty high up on the list. Well then, we'll see Sad Voids contemplate this next pickup for them. They really have had a lot of hate on the cores from last game. They'll take out the Queen of Pain this time around, and we'll see the Earthshaker banned out. Isurus, maybe they go for the Scarlet themselves, or maybe they're not that afraid of it, or maybe they have something altogether in mind. But that Earthshaker ban was a snap ban, very quick coming out from them. Maybe they look towards a Bat Rider for themselves left inside the pool. Like, oh, never mind. Excuse me. Banned on the first stage. I'm completely blind. So just ignore that. There's not really anything that's going to be filling that Bat Rider's role, and well, there you have it. Scarlet Mage is going to be the pickup for them. Combos great with the Vengeful Spirit, combos well with the Juggernaut, too. A lot of magic damage in the early game coming out from these three, and one of the scariest tri-lanes you're ever going to see. Damage from Blade Fury and early Arcane Bolts is insane, and with the CC coming out from Conch Shot, as well as from the Magic Missile, you can pretty reliably get kills wherever you want to go. And Venge and Skyrath is a very potent roaming duo too. If they can secure an early kill or two on the Clockwork, maybe they can roam towards mid and help out DDX with whatever he might be doing at the moment. Rubik, the pickup for Sad Voids, is completely serviceable. I don't think there's much else that we need to talk about with Rubik. He's offering a nice disable, and right now there's not the greatest spells to steal, but honestly, there's hardly ever a game where it's a bad Rubik game. If it's a bad Rubik game, there's nothing good to steal on the enemy side, which means the enemy heroes probably absolutely stink. So yeah, it's more up to positioning, and although there's not going to be those big wombo combo ultimates that you're going to be seeing, no Ravages, no Black Holes for Rubik to get his hands onto, Magic Missile does the trick 9 times out of 10. It's going to be Isurus snagging up the Brewmaster for themselves. Not what I was expecting. Sad Voids have a decent amount of control to keep this Brewmaster in check, but well, it is something that Isurus do like running, and well, we'll have to see if it's going to pan out for them, and we'll have to see if he's going to be able to not get turned into a frog by the line. Those instant disables really do a lot of work up against the Brew. Right now they are lacking damage to actually bring him down before he's able to get off his split, but Slark is going to be somewhat remedying that. And honestly, I think the Slark is pretty darn good here. They do have the silence coming out from the Scarlet Mage to be annoying for the Slark, but as long as he has his pack going off, it's going to be hard for Isurus to actually lock down this fish. Lots of ways to disjoint their only reliable stuns in the Magic Missile and the Boulder Toss coming out from the Brewmaster when he's in his split form. But that's about it. There really isn't anything else that comes to mind. Slark is going to be a very slippery fish. As he rightfully should, and as he wants to be. Okay, last ban coming out from Isurus. Should be a mid laner for Sad Voids that they're going to take out of the pool, and we'll just have to see what that mid laner is going to be. Honestly, I would be opposed to them going for a sniper here, although it's not the most conventional of heroes. It has been seeing quite a bit of play recently, and Isurus, they lack quite a bit of the catch that would be really nice to bring down that sniper, and I think having the Slark and Clockwork up in the front lines is going to be enough to, I don't know, buy time and make space for the sniper to pew-pew onto the sidelines. Shadow Fiend being the ban out from Isurus, also perfectly serviceable. Maybe they're actually contemplating going for the Silencer, although into a Clockwork and into a Slark, I think it's much less likely. Probably just a Shadow Fiend ban for the sake of being a Shadow Fiend ban. Although it's not a hero that necessarily dominates the lane, he is a hero that's hard to shut down. Come the mid game especially, if you have a couple of stacks to fall back on, and very easily make up any deficit when it comes to the early laning stage that you might have.
Legion Commander.
It's going to be a Doom banned out by Sad Voids and an Isurus Gaming Legion Commander snagged up as their fifth to round out their lineup. How these lanes actually shake down for Isurus, I have no idea. Currently rocking 3 melee heroes for their core positions, and whether this is an offlane Brew, offlane Legion, or any combination of these heroes, I honestly wouldn't be too surprised. As I talked about a little bit earlier, there could be potential for an aggressive tri-lane, although into a Lion Rubik Slark, they might shy away from that. Just because there's no guarantee that you're actually going to be able to get kills and sustain that lane indefinitely. Maybe just start this out in a standard 3-1-1 and roam the supports, I think is probably the better way to go about this. Sad Voids will consider their 5th pick. And right now what it is not really clear. But I think they could get away with quite a lot. Leech Commander, Brewmaster, Juggernaut, although they are pretty potent. Solo laners, they're not the most dominating of solo laners. And I think Sad Voids could definitely punish this if they wanted to go for that sniper I was talking about earlier. Honestly, I think that's a pretty darn good pick. Oh. Maybe it's not something you're comfortable running. Maybe they have some other idea. It's going to be a Night Stalker. Holy cow. Completely different idea. Instead of having somebody sit on the back lines while the other teammates run into the enemy team, they're just going to all run into him. I suppose that's completely acceptable too. Night Stalker, a hero that immediately after the changes, And 6.83 was seen every once in a while, and we do see sometimes some of the tier 2 European teams going for this Night Stalker, in particular Hellraisers, like running him. But well, we'll have to see how Zap Brannigan's going to do on the hero. It should be quite a treat. The long duration silence at nighttime is going to be very hard for Brewmaster to deal with. And, yeah, I really didn't see Night Stalker coming, but why the heck not? It is a hero that can fall off very hard if you don't get off to a good start, but also a hero that's pretty darn good at getting to that good start. If Sad Voids get some map control and start controlling the map, my goodness, that was very redundant, but either way, you kind of get the picture. If they ever get ahead, they're going to be able to absolutely strike fear into the hearts of Isurus with fear of a clockwork jumping in. If you have Aghanim Scepter on the Night Stalker, just being able to see the enemy before they can actually see you, and always having that constant threat, the Night Stalker could just be around those trees and could be ready to absolutely wreck me. It could get bad. Alrighty, well, I'll introduce our lineups. On Sad Void's side, we have Kezia playing on the Rubik, Gex on the Slug, Gexos on the Clockwork, Zap Brannigan on the Night Stalker, and Dumpster on the Lion. A little bit of role changes. Gexos was playing the support Earthshaker last game. So maybe they're going to switch things up this game around, but we'll just have to see. On the dire side of the map, it is Isurus Gaming with Fullback playing on the Brewmaster, Nadera on the Skyrath Mage, DDX on the Bench, Pepita on the Juggernaut, and Dulce on the Legion. Yeah, that's wrong. Okay, DDX on the Brewmaster, Fullback on the Venge. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. We have a lot of Asta coming out from the chat of Fullback. Either way, we're ready to go and ready to roll. Holy cow. Okay, so let's see how these lanes actually shake down. Juggernaut going to be opening out with a decent chunk of stats for himself, but looks like he's going to be safely farming mid-brew and off-lane Legion Commander. These supports are going to be needed pretty much everywhere at the same time to help out these lanes and make sure that people don't get absolutely crushed. I can very easily see Dulce feeding the first blood, and even though he had a really good Magnus game, his start was pretty rocky, and I expect a rocky start for this Legion as well. He's going to run down, look to place down that ward, but he's going to be met by the Rubik. Fortunately enough, the Rubik is alone, but he's not going to be able to get the ward he wants, and if he does, it should be dewarded pretty promptly. I'm not sure if he actually spotted him through the trees, but eventually he gets his eyes onto Dulce and should know exactly where that ward may be, but fortunately enough, they do not have 200 gold to take this out, so at the very least it's going to be up for a couple seconds, but with the incessant pings coming up from the dire side, they know exactly where it was planted. So, sorry ward, you're not long for this world. Bounty Rune bottom is going to be died upon by Sad Voids, and it looks like they're going to be able to secure this one for themselves. Maybe we have a little bit of a skirmish, but honestly, the power of level 1 Pounce as well as Void at level 1 probably is going to be enough to make sure that Sad Voids get that extra bit of experience and gold at their disposal. Brewmaster going to move into position, has the Skyrath behind him, and well, Sad Voids are going to back off. DDX secures the one down towards bottom, and top rune is going to be picked up by Juggernaut completely uncontested. Pepita going to get a nice start into this game again. It's something that Sad Voids might consider working upon, even if they're not comfortable with these heroes going for it. Maybe you draft around that, because honestly, those contention of his first runes can be pretty crucial for the rest of the game. Lots of first blood opportunities that have been missed. Dulce is in a bit of a pickle. He got cliffed by the Rubik. Unfortunate spot for him to be in, and he's going to be here for quite a bit longer. I'm not sure if the Curry can actually reach over this precipice here, but it will sure as hell try. Mid lane being set upon by the Skyrath Mage. And that's going to be really annoying for Zap Brannigan, but let's see if this courier mission is going to be successful. Come on, courier, you can do it. We have Lion and Rubik, and they're going to look for the first blood. Dulce in a bit of a pickle, but he does get his TP, so he's going to be fine as long as he can actually get this. Wait, it can't reach? Dulce, no. I thought they fixed it to where couriers could actually reach up high ground, but maybe this spot is bugged. Dulce is, he's boned. Sorry, bud. Yeah, they're just gonna leave him there. Leave him there. Kezia, he can't get down there. He wants you to kill him. What a terrible way to start the game. I thought this game was going to be a slow start for the Legion, but at the very least I thought she could back off into the jungle. I could just spend the whole game sitting over here on top of the cliff and watching Legion sit around. Injured, 70 HP, 90 HP now. And, well, all she can do is watch Slark free farm. He's about level 3, and Leech Commander's not going to see a lick of experience for a long time. And, well, exactly how long you ask until they get... He cancels a salve, Kezia! You cheeky bugger, my goodness. The courier is closed, but it can't actually go there. Once they get it flying, maybe they can stop this, but this is damning. Like, what do you do? Holy cow. Mid lane Night Stalker versus Brewmaster. Brewmaster flexing his muscles. He got some help from the Skywrath Mage, so at the very least, Isurus have mid lane going for them, and Jug is farming way up towards top, but we can just kind of chill. This is hilarious. Is he actually going to kill him? Oh, he's going to get first blood. Okay. Putting an end to my fun, and, well, maybe to his own fun, too. Dulce sent back to the base of the express route. And, well, not going to be having a fun game from here on out. Dulce, level 1, 2 minutes into this game. He doesn't even have his TP. Brewmaster stole the courier as he wanted his bottle. Venge. Ooh, Invis rune. Let's see if they're going to be able to get this courier snipe. Bottle has not come out from Night Stalker yet, but it is going to be coming out shortly. So let's see if fullback is patient enough, or if he's able to find a spot inside the woods. He doesn't have a ward, so he actually needs to be in the middle of the lane while it gets delivered, and maybe Night Stalker having a bad time inside this lane is actually going to prove to be beneficial for him, because it is going to save his courier's life. Fullback's still sticking around. And, well, he's going to show. That's the end of that. They know exactly what's going on, and Venge isn't going to be able to get the courier snipe. A lot of wasted time for the Venge. Even though the Leech Commander was stuck on the cliff for that first bit, it does deny a little bit of experience away from the Rubik as well. And Legion has managed to find herself level 2, but still, it's not pretty. Dulce doesn't have a point into Moment of Courage, so can't actually go off into the jungle and farm up there. And for now, that's pretty much all the action we've seen. Clockwork shows his face towards mid. It looks like he was hunting for that Vengeful Spirit, but doesn't actually find him. Gexos is going to go back up towards top, and as bad as Legion's start was, Gexos isn't having a great time either. Both of these offlaners are really just in a situation where they don't want to be in. It's not happy. Not happy at all. Super passive as this early start. We'll see Skywrath Mage prepare a couple of stacks here and there to be farmed up by whoever. Maybe Leech Commander will get some help clearing them out just to get her a little bit of extra gold and what have you, but yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Zap Brannigan going to eat a clap to the face. 23-7 compared to the 10-1. DDX is doing quite a lot, but then again, Zap now has at his disposal Nighttime. Concussive Shot going to slow down Zap, but that's not going to stop him. DDX coming in, however, will. Zap actually can't go for any more, and Adair is going to survive, clearing up, and, well, it looks like first Nighttime is going to be doing that much. Dulce pokes his head in mid, just wanting a little bit of experience. This is the saddest Leech Commander you're going to see for quite a long time. And, well, he'll go back down toward the bottom lane, soaking as much as he can. The real winners in this early laning stage are Gix as well as Papita. They'll go back to farming, and, well, they're pretty much uncontested. Clockwork in a vacuum up against a Jug. Can't do a decent amount, but, yeah, not in this situation. He'll walk up to get a deny. Lucky enough for him, fullback and the Skywrath Mage weren't in position to actually punish that at all. With the Illusion Rune, Leech Commander has managed to find herself level 3, and I suppose it's not the end of the world for this Legion, but it's pretty darn close. Lion as well as Skywrath Mage chilling behind mid, waiting for anybody to go onto either side. DDX does have a split, so if he finds an opportunity, it could be pretty darn easy for him to get a kill. If Night Stalker gets a little too close. With the nighttime movement speed, it's not going to be the case. I don't think they can kill him, though. He's going to get hexed up. Do they have the damage to actually bring down DDX? He has a split. If stuff hits the fan, he's going to be fine. Flare flies through from the Clockwork, but it's only level 1 Flare, and doesn't really bother them that much. Down towards bottom. DDX going to eat an overwhelming odds, but it's actually the Brewmaster did another Void. DDX needs to be careful this time around. He is playing with fire, but again, he has that split, and, well, we don't have any points into Crippling Fear. Although, they don't know that on the Isurus side. If he had 1 point, that's probably a kill into DDX. Alrighty then, this is not the start of a game that I really would like to see. Vengeful Spirit's going to go inside the Roche Pit, but has no wards. Honestly, not sure what the plan is for fullback. No, it's just to sit on the rune. Never mind me. Just maybe a little too late. They will be able to get this 6-minute rune into their pocket, but unfortunately, it's a bounty, and top rune's a regen, so that's actually not going to spur any actual aggression. And this first nighttime really isn't doing much. Zap Brannigan with just boots and a handful of gloves can't do much at all. We'll get Clockwork level 6 sooner rather than later, but then again, it's down towards bottom where you see Dulce get clipped by that leash, and they'll be able to right-click him down. Rubik getting the last hit, and it's going to be a pretty clean kill for Sad Voids. And, well, the real sad person inside this game is the Leech Commander. That's a level 4 Leech Commander, and all died the second time. Brewmaster silenced up, looking for the reinitiation. They have the split, but can't find an opening. DDX is going to hold on to it. He'll bottle up to keep himself at a decent amount of HP and what have you, but that's about it. Cogs in, but that's not a place that you really want to be with. Pepita over in the sidelines. He has Omni Slash, just going to jam it in, my goodness. Well, that's one way to get a kill. I don't think that was necessary, but style points for you, Pepita. He's, again, getting this free farm plus a couple of kills on top. Same build we saw in the Troll, just going into the phase equivalent to the Helm of a Dominator or some sort of Morbid Mascot. I mean, he might be going Mask of Madness. In mid lane, DDX, again, posturing, but there's just not an opening from either side. DDX can't go in or risk getting silenced as well as hexed. And, well, the line and Nightstalker can't go in or risk getting conk shot and split upon and just all sorts of wreck. 2-1, this is a very low action game, I must say. Smoke up coming in from Isurus as they want to put an end to this. Lull in the action, but where they're actually able to get a kill is another story. Clockwork currently sans hookshot. Might be able to get the kill there, especially if he's sticking around so aggressively inside the lane. And I mean, it's not aggressively by any means, but you should be safe under your tower. In this case, you're not when you have 3 heroes roaming into your lane, and one of them being DDX too. It should be flagged that the Brewmaster is completely missing. They have a ward in mid, and, well, it looks like Exus, he's none the wiser. They'll get silenced up, and he's going to be brought down. Skyth Mage gets an easy kill, and honestly, I don't think they needed that much. But after the fact, they'll put pressure onto the tier 1 tower, and 2-2, our kill score is currently tied up with no trade in sight for Sad Voids. Although it does give Nightstalker a little bit of space inside the middle lane, definitely not enough. Not enough to make up for that kill. DDX also still holds onto his split. Now that it's daytime, can pretty feasibly look for a kill onto the Nightstalker. Our Legion is actually going to get level 6 faster than the Clockwork since she has been catching up in the jungle, and honestly, would have been better off starting off in the jungle straight up, but they didn't know that coming into this game, so you can't really fault them. They'll drop their Scarlet Mage down towards bottom and soak XP as their tier 1 tower is getting pushed, and actually they're TPing a little bit more than that. The Brewmaster's coming in, he wants to split, they get the silence up, but it's going to be purged. Now Hex up, look back onto DDX, he's going to be stymied, and any attempted aggression is going to be stopped. Well then, Isurus. They'll try to go for this bottom tower defense, but it doesn't end up getting denied or anything like that. DDX just really wants to split, and he can't find it. Once he gets his Blink Dagger, that's going to be a different story, however, and that's coming up shortly. DDX will be able to have that Blink Clap split initiation. Up towards top, we see another Omni Slash last hit. Holy cow, Pepita, the king of the last hit Omni Slashes. He'll be able to mop up another kill onto the Clockwork. Sure, why not? Oh, Clockwork, you cannot cog in this Juggernaut. He is a force to be reckoned with. Level 8 here at 9 minutes into the game. Almost level 9. Once he gets one more creep, he's going to have it. And, yeah, Jug is unmanageable. It's kind of what we saw last game from the Troll, but Pepita is... he's just chilling. There's nothing that they're doing to stop him. They bring in the Nightstalker over from the side. They're smoking. They're trying. But Pepita too darn fast. He has Phase Boots and Mask of Madness. How you catch this guy? The smoke is going to pop onto the line. He shows himself to the creep wave, and all that's time he's any attempted aggression. They find the bench, however, and it looks like fullback is completely dead. He's going to get hexed up over the sidelines. They have plenty of lockdown to keep him in place. He'll roar, or yell rather, scream, what have you. Fullback is going to be dropped down as Clockwork finds himself a kill, and will find himself level 6 very shortly. If everybody backed off from this creep wave, he'd be getting pretty darn close to it, but unfortunately it's just going to be 1 or 2 more creeps away from it. Yet. Okay then. 3-3, our kill score is actually not changed in the status quo, but again, Isurus are finding a little bit more. The Leech Commander is dropping low inside the jungle, but is still sustaining herself nicely in mid. Silence on the DDX lasts a long time, but not enough. They don't kill him off, and DDX has that Blink Clap, and they're going to respect that initiation. In fact, he is an invis right now. They might be able to find a little bit more. The Slark is currently farming up inside the jungle. Let's see if they find an initiation opening here. DDX hasn't found it yet. They'll spot out the Lion. They have a dire ward. It's going to spot out his rotation. Even though the reduced division is pretty darn ridiculous, it's enough to spot out this Rubik. Clap, crit, smack. No, it's not going to do enough damage from Vengeful Spirit. Rubik actually survives. They turn around, silence on the Brewmaster. It's enough. Earth Spike, long range on the fullback, and it's a disaster. Holy cow, that Rubik is lucky. Lucky ducky, surviving on double digits HP. I believe that was an uphill miss from the Vengeful Spirit, and if it wasn't, Ventress doesn't do that much physical damage, it seems, at this point in the game as a support. Well then, 2-0 in the favor of Sad Boys. Nice turn coming out from them. Brewmaster not wanting to spend that split, and, well, I don't think he's casted this game. We do have duel online for the Leech Commander, but still saving up for a Blink Dagger on her. Isurus, it feels like they want to make something happen, but they can't. We have the Shadow Blade and the Slark, and it looks like Sad Voids are going to be the one to make the next move. Plenty of mana for this Slark as well. We'll have to see if he finds that opening that he really would like. But for now, he can just be content farming up a couple more camps. Very interesting to see these two teams play. It's really just let the safe lane farmers farm, and that's exactly what they're doing. Juggernaut currently sitting on a Yasha, and we might be in for the exact same build as what we saw last game. Manta style this game is probably the preferred choice over S and Y, so maybe some deviation there, but yeah, pretty much the same. It's the same hero, just a different face. Or lack of face, whatever the case may be. Okay then. Or pause. There's a little bit of lag. So hopefully we'll be able to resolve this issue. Whatever it may be. Jug going to keep on doing juggle-lug things. Slark going to keep on doing fishy things. Everybody's just kind of chilling. Surprisingly, the Rubik has more net worth than the clock, but I think that's about the only noteworthy thing to actually talk about. He's going to be building in towards an urn, and although it's nothing super flashy, this Rubik has been doing quite a lot of work. For Sad Voids, excuse me. Good to go, coming out from both sides, as Dumps are going to give the thumbs up for Sad Voids, and fullback will do the same for Isurus. Both teams ready to rumble. Juggernaut continuing to push down towards bottom. This really looks like second burst same as the first. Don't put pressure onto the tier 2 tower. This time it's on a different side of the map, but nothing else has changed. Blink clap down in bottom, but doesn't commit the split, and with a haste rune, Zap Brannigan going to be able to zip zap zoopity out of there. Up towards top, however, Pepita, if he finds an Omni Slash opening, could be the end of his life, but then again, Slark comes in. It's going to be the Skywrath Mage losing his life. Rip in pieces, Skywrath Mage. Leech Commander comes over through the sidelines, pokes her face out, but doesn't catch anything. But then again, the flare, I think it caught vision of Dulce. I don't want to go for it. 6-3. They're fighting a little bit more as Sad Voids, as far as it comes to kills, but still 500 gold lead and 1,000 experience lead. Again, don't let the kill score fool you. Isurus are using the map a little bit more efficiently and fighting a little bit more out of it. They have had a Legion farming inside the jungle that isn't matched by Sad Void's side. And again, we have Juggernaut completely left alone. Pepita is in Pepita land. And I think that's where he's going to stay. Looks like the item of choice is going to be S and Y, so we might as well just carbon copy Troll Warlord and stick him in the Juggernaut's place. It actually is just the same game. This time he doesn't have Empower for him, but yeah. Pepita is just going to go to town. We do have a smoke coming out from Sad Voids up towards top. They lay Dumpster out as bait, but is this actually going to work? I don't think so. I really don't think they're going to go for it. Maybe they will. It's going to pop. DDX silenced up for a million years. They do have the Omni Slash, but Pepita gets bounced back. Hook shot going to be thrown wide, and they do get the kill on DDX, but that's about it. Pepita will just go back to farming up. Well, it worked out. I suppose it's a great game coming out from Sad Voids. They didn't expect them to be smoking up through that lane. Although I think they probably should have been a little bit more careful there. It ends up not working out for them, and that's too bad, I suppose, for Isurus, but this is going to give Sad Voids a little bit more of an edge. Brewmaster still has yet to split. He just hasn't found an opportunity. Pouncing from the sidelines. Gix going to find Dulce, making 8-3, and this advantage coming out from Isurus from the early game is starting to dissolve. Lift up on the Skywrath Mage into an Impale, and he's gone. They magic missile up Kezia, but that's not going to save the Vengeful Spirit's life. Pounced down by Gix. They are going to lose one in return. Maybe, no. Pepita is going to be able to survive. He has the Omni Slash, so they need to respect that. Shadowblade away from the Slark is going to keep him safe, and the rest of his company too. Alrighty then. Sad Voids, what they don't have when it comes to map efficiency, they make up for, and raw fighting power, 10-3. They're finding a lot of nice engagements, and, well, Shadowblade pretty much paying for itself at this point, and exactly when you want to be using this item. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I think Gix is kind of the one to watch at the moment. He's the one that wants to be starting fights. Although, in theory, the Brewmaster should be doing a lot. This silence coming out from the Night Stalker is absolutely wrecking the space. It's just 1 point. But that is a 1 point for a 5-second silence at nighttime. 5 seconds where they're able to go to town onto the Brewmaster and make sure that he's not able to split. You have that. You have the instant Hex coming out from the line. You have the instant lift from the Rubik, and there's just not good opportunities all around. DDX, not as great as the game. They'll deward a sentry in mid lane, but that's about all that's noteworthy to talk about. Juggernaut's taken Legion Commander's place inside the jungle as he clears up these camps quite a bit faster with this Mask of Madness phase. My goodness, it's pretty impressive to watch Juggernaut just slap chop through these with a maxed out crit, or almost maxed out crit, I suppose. I'm not sure what the reasoning is in going 3 points and not 4 points. Looks like he just wanted a little bit of extra stats. He eventually maxes it out, which is completely fine. I didn't actually see when he switched over to the crit maxing. But either way, Pepita is primed to do quite a lot, and he's actually going to steal an Ancient Stack. If they had Empower under this jug, it would be a lot easier. That's about it. And Radiant is nowhere close. Dire have no vision around this area, and it's going to make clearing this Ancient Stack quite a bit riskier, but Pepita's going to get away with murder. And, well, there you go. He murders all of those Ancients. In fact, he cleans up the small one. Honestly, I think he leaves the small one there. Nightstalker coming in like a bullet train, but just can't catch Pepita. With Mask of Madness and Phase Activate, I think he goes at 5-2-2. I'd like to see him do that just for me, but I think that's the case. Gix bumps into the jug. I don't think you want to go for this Gix, though. There's a sentry close. Hasn't spotted out the Slark. He's going to walk into it. They bring in the Nightstalker. He has Omni Slash. Can't get it off. He's silenced. And Pepita trying for the TP out. Will he be able to make it? I don't think so. Hookshot jams it in. And Gex is going to be able to kill off that Juggernaut and putting an end to Jug's free spree in this game. So this is where the paths diverge between that Troll game as well as the Juggernaut game. As Isurus are losing quite a lot of ground here. And Sad Voids are starting to pick up a little bit of momentum. It's still not reflected much in the graph, though. It really goes to show how effective Isurus are utilizing the farm and how much they're getting out of this map, all things considered. But then again, they do need to make sure that they don't lose too much more than this. 11-3, it looks terrible, but it's not lost yet by them. We'll have to see if Sad Voids are going to be able to ride this momentum and, well, make it a 1-1 inside this JDL series. Looking down towards bottom with the blink on Legion Commander, finally Isurus have another tool to start fights on their own terms when you're dealing with a line on the enemy team, so many disables on the enemy side. Things get hairy. Things get hairy really quickly. Again, Tier 1 tower up towards top, going to be taken out by the Slark as well as the Nightstalker. It's going to be given the way of Gix, and it's going to be a Scotty next for the Slark, and he's starting to get a lot of farm. Still behind the Juggernaut, but not by much. Gix is primed to be an absolute force to be reckoned with. 4-0-2, Gix is having a fine time, although he's not farming as much as the Jug. Definitely makes up for it with the kills that he's gotten. Here's the Shattered Blade. Not an immediate target to actually go for inside this middle lane. Everybody on Isurus is pretty much committed down towards bottom lane, and that should be pretty obvious for Sad Voids, in all honesty. They don't see most of these heroes coming out from the dire side, or actually they do, never mind. They have decent ward coverage over this river area. Gix currently sitting inside Shadowblade just on the low ground. We'll go back up to the high ground and wait for Shadowblade cooldown before going for anything else. Isurus going to regroup in mid, blink forward with the Brewmaster, and well, this action is completely dissuaded. We have a smoke up coming out from Sad Voids, but I don't think this is going to find anything unless they turn it around. Isurus are completely 5-manning. Well then, Pepita continues to farm up. Isurus, right now, they just want to find a jump with this Legion or this Brewmaster. We still have yet to see a split, and, well, it might be Dulce that's actually the one to get jumped. If he walks across this line, I think he is donezo. If not donezo, and a very bad situation. We'll put it that way. Slark occupying the enemy woods, and a similar move to what we saw Isurus taking last game, blinking from the Legion Commander, is going to activate an Invis rune, and that's going to be the end of Slark's happy days. He'll be able to Shadow Blade out, however. The Juggernaut spotted in mid is really hard for Sad Boys to do anything about it unless they have more than just the Clockwork here. They probably need the Slark too. Yeah, my goodness, there's really just not a lot to talk about this game. Not a lot of action. The rotations coming out from both sides are pretty limited, and they aren't working out 9 times out of 10. Both teams are pretty content just to sit back and farm, and Pepita, as we've already seen, really likes doing that. He's going to deviate away from his build last game as he goes for the Basher instead of for the Eye of Scotty, but I think this is completely fine. The Bashes inside Omni Slash are wonderful, but we'll just have to see when he's going to find an opening to actually use that spell. Slark dropping low as he farms up through the jungle, but that's about it. I really haven't felt much impact coming out from this Nightstalker pickup. Zap Brannigan, he's not playing bad, 2-0-5. But outside of the silence, I think he could have been pretty much any other hero. I mean, Mid-Skywrath Mage probably would have done more work. Either way, I think it's completely fine. We still have Isurus waiting in the wings. They are smoked up, looking for a jump. Can they actually find it? No, it's going to be DDX get jump. They are going to be able to purge off the first stun. They finger him dead. They don't want him getting off the split. Can he do it? He's going to get silenced by the Night Stalker, and now he's going to get bashed down. The mischance is real onto the Brewmaster. Eventually, they bring him down. However, Gix gets a double with the pounce over the top. Gix with the ultimate is going to start pouncing into Dulce. Can't actually secure that kill. It's a 2-for-1. And, well, that Brewmaster, he just can't get off his ultimate. It's really kind of been the story of DDX's game. He tries so hard to press R, but he just can't actually get it off. Constantly canceled by stun after stun, CC after CC effect coming out from Sad Voids, and that Brewmaster just isn't having an impact. Honestly, you might consider even just splitting before you get into the fight. Like Windwalking in the Panda, just to be able to get off that ultimate. He desperately needs a BKB. Point Booster, Aghanim Scepter is not going to do it. They find Gix, however. They have an Omni Slash. Can they connect? And it looks like Pepita is going to be able to do so, or will he? Hexed up. They're going to be able to buy them some space. And Omni Slash is stolen by the Rubik. Excuse me, it was already used. But Rubik kind of dies in like 2 shots. Never mind that. Not able to cast that Omni Slash himself. And now they chase down Jumpster. He's going to turn for the Earth Spike. Catches out pretty much everybody, but slowed down by the Drunken Haze. They can still chase if they want to, but it looks like they'll decide against it. Or do they? Dulce does not have a duel. Dumpster going to go over into the creeps. And it looks like the call is that Isurus should back out, but hookshot into Legion. Going to deny that away from them. Skywrath Mage tries to turn in ults, but ends up dying. Brewmaster finally gets off his split, trying to turn into Gix, but they've already lost their LC in the Skywrath. They're going to throw the Night Stalker up in the air, but Gix isn't being CC'd at all, and this Brewmaster split really doesn't seem to be impacting anything. He'll be able to escape out cleanly, I think, with this one, but maybe not even that. He should be able to blink out. Or will he? He's going to need a negative recharge, but that doesn't cancel his blink. And DDX is home free. Isurus loses a little bit too much from that aggressive dive. Pepita's still keeping up, and in fact leading the charge, but fighting without this Juggernaut just isn't really a thing. They have the Scotty now up for the Slark, and the items are starting to roll in for Sad Voids, but really the map control hasn't been seized either way for the longest of times. Tier 1 towers are still standing in mid and bottom for the Radiant side, but that's about it. Over in the sidelines, claps galore. No, not going to be thrown out. We have a sentry. They spot out Zabrangan. They know he's visible. They're going to concussive shot in, but they can't actually find a dual target, Dulce. Just a little too slow on the finger, or Shadowblade came out too fast. Shadowblade, speaking of that, going to be a pound sent from the Terra. The Brewmaster doesn't have a split this time, and the Omni Slash goes through. Zabrangan dropping low, going to be Magic Missile. They duel up Kaisa. Can they actually bring him down? That's extra damage for the Legion Commander. He actually ends up winning that duel. DDX is currently stuck in the CODs because they swap out the Juggernaut, and that's going to save his life, but they lose everybody else. It's godlike for Gix, an absolute bloodbath in mid. A ridiculous fight. Now they chase for more of that Juggernaut. Is mighty juicy, but without a hook shot, I don't think they can do it. Sad Voids are going to be pretty darn happy with that last exchange, getting a good chunk of experience and gold and what have you. The Juggernaut Omni Slash, it was nice and all, but really Pepita, it seems that he's having a hard time doing this by himself. They absolutely need to have the Legion Commander, Brewmaster do the jumping, but really they just haven't found any opportunities. 1-5-2 on the Legion, Brewmaster 1-4-2, and although they get extra dual damage on the Legion Commander at this point in the game, 28 damage, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to cut the cake, and it's not worth it for dying there. This Lark is pulling ahead of the Juggernaut, and it's something that we didn't see last game. Pepita not at the top of the net worth chart. What is this game? He's going to consistently do this if Gix is able to have such a great time. And 9-0-4. Scratch Juggernaut being the troll from last game. It's Gix to really fill that role. They have the Legion Commander as well as Skywrath Mage and Bench hunting for Gix. And maybe, just maybe, they can kill him off. They'll sentry down the ground. Double sentry, in fact. And they spot him out. But with the Shadowblade, no more detection. He's gone. He'll TP out mid-pounce. Bye-bye, Gix. He's home free. And, well, that Smoke Ink unsuccessful coming out from Isurus. And, oh, good move coming out from the Slark. Can't really say much more. Going to be working towards his next major item very shortly. And is a force to be reckoned with already. Juggernaut has taken his throne up in the net worth chart, however, after mopping up a couple more creep waves. My goodness, Pepita just drains farm out of the map, no matter where he's at. Now he's going to do even more inside the ancient camps. I half expect Pepita to actually go for an Abyssal Blade this game. We'll have to see if that's what Juggernaut's going to be settling on. But whatever it is, it's going to be big. And we'll have to see what that big item is going to be for him. Back to farming inside their own jungles. This isn't a game where either team are really making any aggressive moves to seize map control. All tier 2 towers are standing, and Roshan isn't as big a deal in this game, although it's very easily taken by Isurus. They won't feel comfortable taking that fight when you have the clockwork that can jump in. We have the Night Stalker vision especially. It's so scary when you're inside that pit and all of your wards suddenly only see like a circle around that big. Excuse the potato circle, but you kind of get the idea. Pepita now has gold for the Abyssal Blade, should he choose to buy it. But no matter what it is, Pepita's going to be picking a big item, and, well, there you have it. That's your Abyssal for your Juggernaut, and I'd like to see them try to do something off of this. This is a big leap in power that's not going to be matched for quite a long time. Honestly, Juggernaut is reaching his peak, so to say. I mean, he definitely has more items to pick up, but relative to the Sad Void's heroes, I think he's getting close to it. No phase for the rest of his team as they chase down towards bottom, but there's absolutely nobody to be found. Sad Voids are currently 5-manning inside another portion of the map, and, well, that's how they're pretty much going to stay. Slark is missing off of the map, but now they see him with a ward, and I think they spotted the Night Stalker at some point too. They know that there's nobody here, but there's a tier 1 tower. Yeah, that's fine. Chop, 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 chop. Pepita going to be able to make quick work of this tower, and he's going to be able to secure the last hit too. Sad Voids put pressure on the tier 2 tower in mid. As long as Pepita has a TP, he could probably look for a little bit of a trade. Because right now Sad Voids don't seem interested in actually fully committing to this one. 19 and 8. Sad Voids don't feel like they're controlling it, or controlling this game like they probably should be. If you're 19 and 8, currently 5,000 advantage towards the Sad Voids side, as well as 3,000 experience advantage or some but they're really just not shutting down this Juggernaut at all. And as long as Legion gets off the duel and they're able to focus down that target, it's probably good enough. They'll lay the Juggernaut out as bait, and this might just work. The Night Stalker and Slark are close by, and maybe they'll think of going for him. But honestly, it's pretty obvious that they're up to something. They have been spotted out, or at least DDX has, by this ward, if I'm not mistaken, since he did attack some creeps. So Night Stalker and Slark are going to make their way out of here, and will find better things to do with their time. And maybe those better things are just to farm up, wait for the next set of items. As much as I don't like saying it, doesn't feel like they're really comfortable going for it. Wait till you have Butterfly and Gix, maybe. Okay. Well, Ancient's going to be farmed up by Gix, and really not much is happening on the map. This game really is quite slow. Even though there's a decent amount of kills per minute, those kills are in very bursted flurries without much actual impact on the game itself. For the most part, it's just kind of a moot point. We have a Blink Dagger up for the Jug, and really, they need to do something off of this, please. I think this is the time to go. They'll spot out the Roshan with the healing ward, and well, maybe they're actually going to jump into it. They're just going to keep on scouting with this thing. That's kind of funny. You don't usually see this application of healing ward, but heck, it does its job, and it doesn't give any bounty away even if it's killed. I think they're going to jump into the Roche, but the blind hook coming in from Gexa, going to catch him out. The Ghost Scepter is going to mean that Omni Slash is completely absorbed and does absolutely nothing. Pepita going to get his Omni Slash stolen, and although it is not the best spell to have on Rubik, it's sure as hell good enough to kill off the Vengeful Spirit. BKB pop by Zap Brannigan, they'll eat through the poor Skywrath Mage too, and now it's full retreats coming out from Isurus. They've trapped in that Earth Panda, and Brewmaster's going to be coming right back here. Pepita mops up 1 and mops up 2. The Lion is going to drop to the Brewmaster in return. DDX is going to lose his life. Split stolen by the Rubik too, my goodness. Rubik finding all of the good pickups. There is just a Wild Gem True Sight on the ground. We'll have to see who picks that one up. In the end, it's a 2 for 3. Both the Slark as well as the Juggernaut survive. So in that sense, it's not that big of a deal. But then again, Dulce might get pounced upon by Gex. He's going to show himself, but doesn't cancel the Blink Dagger of Dulce in time. So that is going to be a clean retreat coming out from our Legion Commander. Aegis is not anywhere close to being claimed. Roshan was only smacked a couple of times before Juggernaut was forced out of the pit by the enemy team. So he'll go chill back in his hole before he's spotted out again. We'll just wait for the next round of ultimates to be back up before either team finds a move to make. We have a smoke coming out from the Lion, and with the Finger of Death at the ready, maybe this is time for Sad Voids to actually look for something. I'm honestly surprised that BKB was not the first item that Brewmaster has picked up. I don't like it, I must say. The Aghanim Scepter is nice and all if you're able to get off your ultimate, but it's not the problem that he's not doing enough in his ultimate. I mean, at this point, it kind of is. But then again, he's not able to get off his ultimate, and he can't do much. He kind of needs both, in all honesty, or like BKB and an Assault Cuirass. Solark up towards top, hunting. This is not a fight that he probably wants to take unless he can just find fullback. And fullback he's going to find instantly purging off that silence, or that stun. And now he has some backup coming out from Dumpster. They'll lift back the Juggernaut. Split stolen by the Rubik, going to be spent. Can't actually lock down Pepita and actually can't chase him. Not fast enough. They'll be able to bring down the Skyoth Mage, however. Brewmaster Brewlings from the Rubik are going to continue roaming around and running around. It's actually pretty cool that you get the aura coming out from Rubik onto the Earth Panda. Either way, hookshot in mid. They'll find out the Panda proper. He is going to be able to get off his split, even through the battery assault. But will he be able to do anything with it? He's currently completely cogsed in. And, well, cogsed in Brewmaster Brewlings don't do that much. They kill off one, and they might actually kill him inside the split form. Gexos is going to drop low, but not low enough. All they want to do is juke out this Earth Panda before he respawns. And it looks like he's going to respawn. He will, but he's not going to live long after the fact. He's going to get voided up and smacked down beyond godlike for Gex 14-0-5. Well, slowly but surely, SV are taking control of this game. In the meantime, Pepita has been farming Ancients, but this time the Ancient's name is Roshan. He'll get an Aegis for himself. And maybe that's enough, but one Juggernaut against the world, is it really enough? Dire Structure's going to be fortified. This DD rune on the Night Stalker is still active for a quarter of its duration. We'll take a tier 3 tower at the very least. Isurus are going to look for a high ground defense. Can they actually find a hookshot in? Pepita, if he loses his Aegis here, could be in for a lot of trouble. BKB, but on to Zap Brannigan. He is going to dodge a lot of that Mystic Flare. Although chunked down by Pepita, Pepita's going to lose his Aegis. Gex is going to be able to secure that one for him. Zap Brannigan still sitting back low. They're trying to get out of here safely, and it looks like they're going to be able to do so after that tier 3 as well as Aegis. Less bridal team would probably have gone for the racks there, but they'll be content with what they got. And what they got was a pick off on the bench, taking away the Aegis advantage from Isurus, as well as some structural damage. That's pretty darn good if you ask me. They can just sit back, wait for the next item on Slark. There is absolutely no rush, really. The Brewmaster and Leech Commander aren't doing anything. We still have that 28 damage that we saw 10 minutes ago, I want to say, from Dulce. And DDX's splits have been not really impactful. This isn't a very good Brewmaster game, and it was kind of why I was hesitant of them picking it inside the draft, just because of the raw amount of control that they have, and SV have been using it very well. Juggernaut, at this point, is pretty much capped out. He has the BKB, and he'll probably pitch that Mask of Madness for something in the future. Maybe goes for a Butterfly, maybe for an MKB, maybe for something a little bit more survivability-y. Yeah, not exactly sure if English worked with me there, but for the most part, Juggernaut is capped. He has some 2,000 gold items that he could replace theoretically, but with this build-up, you're pretty much at where you want to be, and at where you want to be ending the game. He has a team smoked up behind him, but honestly, I don't think the enemy team's going to bite. Although Juggernaut is the only important kill, they should see that he has a BKB at the ready, and all that the entire team is missing. Why risk it? You can just go ahead and farm. Not much that you can actually do about that. And it looks like that's going to be the order of business too. Although Gix is going to be close, and he has a line behind him. The smoke has already expired from Isurus, and I don't think this is going to do anything. They're actually just pinged out. Yeah, maybe Nadero was the one that pinged that one, but yeah, I don't think Sad Voids are actually going to walk into that corner of the neighborhood. Clockwork Flares are going to be searching through the woods. They know something's up, but they don't know exactly what. Right now it's a party inside the Dire Woods. Everybody join it. Skyoth Mage is cancel casting his wing flaps. Why can't everybody else dance? All these heroes have pretty good dance moves. Leech Commander with her heal animation. You can cancel cast the clap. You can cancel cast the howl. Why not? You're not doing anything else useful. Why not farm up these camps? Why not push out the mid lane? It's so obvious that something's wrong. And it is forcing Sad Boys to 5-man, so maybe this is the plan. Just make sure that Sad Voids are scared. But yeah, eventually they'll decide against a TP back. They know this isn't actually going anywhere. And, well, we're going to have pause coming out from the Rubik. Unfortunate, too. It really doesn't get any worse when you have to pause the game this many times. It's probably the third pause of the series. Probably more, honestly. It's South American Dota. You pretty much expect it at this point. Between the poor internet connections and just the general scene as a rule, you do see that quite a bit. What to talk about? What's our next major move? Well, probably whenever Slark gets his big item, and what that might be is still up for questioning. Could just go for a Basher for himself. I think that's probably a pretty safe move, but maybe he saves for buyback first. He currently has 2,400 surplus thereabouts. Just needs a little bit more before he can reliably pick that up. If you're just joining us currently, we are paused in the Join Dota League season number 5 here on HeflaTV 1. This is game 2 between Sad Boys and Isurus. Isurus currently up 1-0 inside the series, but Sad Boys are poised to make that a 1-1 as a lot of the JDL series have ended up so far. Sad Boys going to start moving out, and well, they're pretty much in their 5-man unit, and they can pretty comfortably go for whatever they want to. Looks like the next objective we're going to be waiting for, excuse the yawn, is Roshan, and that's not going to have the potential to be up for at least another 5 minutes or so. Yeah, so we're in for the long haul here. Even though Juggernaut is pretty much capped, we still have a couple of heroes that really do need their items. Night Stalker is going to be working towards Aghanim Scepter, and he's going to have that very shortly, and, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Clockwork has been going for these middling items. He's going to get an Aghanim Scepter soon, too. And, well, Sad Voids are in a pretty good position. What they actually do with it is another story entirely. Right now, they've just kind of fallen back and are content and just farming up on this side of the map. Honestly, I'd like to see them occupy the enemy side of the woods a little bit more. Maybe 5-manning inside that vicinity would have been a little bit better. We'll just have to see. We have a double damage rune for Slark, and maybe this is the trigger for them to actually fight. Gix is currently trucking with an extra 160 damage. That's half a rapier they get just casually for free. Well then, looks like they find Night Stalker. Blink in, they have the Omni Slash if they even need it, and he very well might. Miss, 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 hookshot, miss. He has the BKB, he's gonna pop it. Going to smack the Clockwork 1, bash him after the Force Staff. Interesting, blink forward, he's gonna hit onto the line. Omni Slash down the Night Stalker, and he got the kill that he wanted, but it does cost him pretty much everything. Omni Slash again, stolen by the Rubik. Honestly, none of those spells are bad. Scarlet Mage going to be mopped by Gix, and the double damage rune is still activated on the Slark. Can he actually stick onto any targets, however? The blink away from Pipita is going to keep him safe. The blink clap split was messed up by the Brewmaster, or was it? Actually kills off the Rubik very handily, but the Slark is still kicking. And alive, he gets dueled up by the Leech Commander, but this is duel you cannot win, Dulce! No blade mail, nothing of the sort. They lock down the Slark and throw him up in the air, but Dulce barely survives with his life. The Slark is alone, but yeah, I'm not sure if they can actually kill him in the second line. Gaxos is currently blade mailed as well as Ghost Sceptered up, but he is going to have that ending. Pepita fighting up against Gix, but Gix is still going strong. 21 stacks of that Essence Shift going to town as he's currently hitting for about 300 damage a pop. Can't find a target to jump on. They are going to body block him a little bit with the Brewmaster. And, well, for now, Gix is going to survive. It's a very bad fight for Sad Voids, but Slark survives, and he's stalled out long enough to where everybody else is going to respawn before Isurus are actually able to do anything. And in the meantime, Isurus might lose a tier 2 tower in bottom lane. With the catapults and the range creeps going to town, it looks like this tower is completely forfeit. Sad Voids, it ends up working out for them. And it going to work out even better as Pepita dies in mid lane. Silenced up, they'll be able to bring him down, even though it gets his BKB. Doesn't matter. Now, the Scarlet Mage also going to suffer a similar fate. Now that fight is completely disastrous for Isurus. The Juggernaut is the only hero that matters, really. He is the one that needs to survive, and he is the one that needs to be on the front lines and dishing the damage. Without him, Isurus' damage is garbage. What are you going to do? You have a Legion Commander with 28 damage stolen. That's it. They'll start focusing down the range barracks. Range barracks are gone. Gix still trucking with 25 Essence Shift. This is a Slark that you do not want to fight into. Although he does not have his Basher flown out to him yet, he does have that purchase. They'll look for a Dulce, what are you doing? He's going to get fingered. He's going to die. I don't know what the plan was there. I really don't know. I want to find the genius in it, but it kind of feels like that was a desperation move, or he just wanted to do something, and I can understand that, but yeah, he had no backup and ends up just dying. Sentry on the ground is going to be shown off to the Slark as they do Drunken Haze him while he's invised up, and now they focus on the melee barracks, and Isurus have to do something. They bought back on their Juggernaut for this, but their melee barracks is already gone. Yeah, that's it. They'll lift back. Pepita has that Omni Slash, but doesn't find the target to go on. Let's see if they catch anybody out in the retreat, but it looks for now Sad Voids have just found themselves a free lane of barracks, all things considered. Alrighty then, into the Roche Pit. They are going to poke their heads, but the big man hasn't actually joined the pit yet and hasn't respawned and isn't ready for them to actually go in. So Sad Voids are going to have to wait for this one, but why not? Right now it's all pressure on Isurus. Their Juggernaut isn't getting any stronger. and they aren't doing anything with it. They've lost a lane of barracks, and even pushing out against this one lane is really annoying for them. Their wave clear is okay, but it costs them 2 heroes to pretty much force this out. There's no battle fear on this jug, no Mjolnir, no great ways to actually mount the push creep. Push shot in mid, they found Nadera, and Nadera is completely gone. He'll Arcane Bolt before he dies, but that's straight into a Blade Mail. Slark has a double damage rune again, and this could be disastrous, or will it? The double damage rune is actually worn off. But instead, they'll just go for the tier 3 bottom. Why not? It was so easy the first time around. Why not go for the second one? They get a lift. They found themselves Pepita. They are going to hex him up, silence up. He swapped out, but then they just finger the Venge. Venge completely gone. Gix is currently locked down. They duel him up. This time it's going to work out since they do have the Omnisauce flying through. And finally, Dulce finds himself an extra bit of damage. Spell going to be stolen. Omnisauce stolen by Kissia. Can he actually get it off? He is going to be able to do so, but his Omnisauce is a lot less effective than the Juggernauts, I must say. And he's ending up going to lose his life too. And finally, Isurus find themselves at a better fight, and we'll be able to do so. Abyssal now onto Gexus. Gexus trying to run away, even with the Blade Mail, not going to save you here. Pepita does not give any cares in this world. He's just going to slap him down. My goodness, the attack speed is redonkulous with the Mask of Madness as well as the press of the attack going on at the same time. Isurus find themselves in a 4-for-1 scenario, and the one they lose with Venge. Really nice defensive swap coming out from the Vengeful Spirit. Saving the Juggernaut's life is crucial there. If they lose the Jug, that's probably game, I want to say. At the very least, a second lane of barracks. Juggernaut, speaking of him, he finds a bash into Zap Brannigan. Zap, you just can't do anything, can you? Perma bash down by Petit, doesn't get any misses, or actually didn't have the crippling fear on him, so, well, that just happened. Killing spree for Pepita, and he's going to be able to continue on being a one-man wrecking crew for his team. Roshan respawning very shortly, and Aegis for Isurus could be what they need to bring them back into this game. But first, they should probably finish this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Looks like that's going to be the order of business. Pepita just going to go straight into it, and why not? They have a healing ward to sustain through, and tier 1 tower easily backboard by them. No backdoor protection for this baby. Tier 1 tower falls. No real reason in defending that for Sad Voids. Isurus will back off and look towards the Roshan. Second life, not sure if you give this one towards the Juggernaut, or if you give it off to the Brewmaster to ensure that you get off your ultimate. The Flare scouts this out, but I think they'll still commit towards it anyway. Sad Boys aren't in the greatest of positions to actually contest this, although the Dire don't have vision immediately. They will once they walk into this pit, and while the Roshan looks like it's going to be down by then. Down to about 2,000 health or so. Pepita going to smack this one down, is actually going to go bootsless in the next fight. Fair enough, I suppose. Since he is rocking the Sanjin Yasha as well as a Blink Dagger, he's more than mobile enough to move through these fights. And even without that all, he's moving at 353 with no boots. That's impressive. And with the Mask of Madness activated, I mean, who needs boots? Pepita sure doesn't. He's going to find himself a second life, which is more important. Well then, we'll back off at least for now. Isurus have found themselves a new lease on life with that extra Aegis onto the Juggernaut, and we'll have to see if they're going to be able to do anything with it. The Slark is farming up, and he is going to have, or is sitting on that Abyssal Blade as well as Butterfly. No real changes in items, really, all things considered. Honestly, not sure where his gold went, if he's bought anything or what have you. Yeah, nothing. Excuse me. Well, back in the same position we have been for a large portion of this game. Right now, the advantage is swung back in the favor of Isurus, but having that barracks is really difficult and is going to just give Sad Voids a de facto win inside that lane, or at least when it comes to the pushing momentum and what they're able to do with that. Tier 2 tower up top is still standing, but instead they're going to look for a smoke up, and if they can find a favorable fight, this could be huge. They'll expect a 5v5, and they're going to be bringing all 5 numbers. This is going to be a big one. We have the Shadow Blade pop by Slark, and Juggernaut, he blinked into the Aegis. He has the Aegis, but defensive swap out for fullbacks, going to keep him alive. They will finger down the Vengeful Spirit, blinking for the clap. DDX catches that out onto multiple heroes. Now with the split, going to look to go to town onto somebody. They're going to lock down this Rubik. Rubik is getting focused. Eventually is going to. They duel up Zap Brannigan, but with hookshot in onto Pepita, it is going to save Zap's life, although they don't win any damage either way. Brannigan is going to be brought down with a couple more auto attacks. Pepita is getting chain stunned down. Will they actually be able to bring him down, I wonder? They do still have the Aegis on him, and now they just need to be very careful. Gix not going to go for that courier bait. We have yet another steal of the split coming out from the Rubik, and now DDX is going to lose his life, making it a 2 for 2, or 2 for 1, excuse me, and a gem being pitched the other way. Rubik split still going to be going and looking for somebody else to stick on. That somebody else might just be the Sky Mage. They'll flare him, but Sky is going to live to flap another day. And well, that's about all she wrote. That's not your base Rubik. You probably needs to exercise a little bit more caution when on 350 HP at this point in the game. Yeah, he's just going to straight up blink out after the split expires. Sad Voids, although they find themselves in a slightly favorable exchange, it's more or less a wash. They'll keep up the pressure in bottom, but that's pretty much it. 10 stacks of the Essence Shift up onto Slark. It is something worth noting that he does have some remaining from the last fight, so maybe they want to fight, but probably not. Wait for the next smoke, wait for the next Roshan. This is going to be a long one, fellas. Unless somebody makes a ridiculous move, that is. Or gets caught out where they really have no right to be. Dewarding action coming out from the Radiant side. They'll take out one near the Roshan pit, but honestly at this point, that ward really doesn't mean much since Roshan has no chance to be respawning inside that duration. The Juggernaut Aegis is going to be expiring soon too, so Sad Voids will find themselves with an opportunity to actually fight 5v5. Right now the Aegis advantage on Isurus is a little bit too much for them. They had hard enough time bringing down Juggernaut once, let alone the second life or even getting close to it. Okay then, back to everybody's side of the woods, and they're going to farm up on their side of the map. We have that Aghanim Scepter up for the Night Stalker, and honestly I'd love to see them give the gem to him, or at the very least, keep the gem around him. Sad Void's team is pretty much tailor-made for dewarding. You have Slark to tell you where wards are, you have Night Stalker to get the flying vision of them, and, well, all you need is one of the supports around to actually hit them down. Yeah, and they'll deny this vision away from the Dire side. Currently, the only ward surviving is this one over here. And although pretty nice, probably not nice enough, and isn't going to be long for this world if Night Stalker runs anywhere inside the vicinity. Pings galore going towards the Vengeful Spirit. Honestly, not sure what fullback did that was so ping-worthy, but maybe we'll find out, or maybe it had no impact whatsoever. Assault Cuirass picked up by the Liege Commander, and as far as item pickups are concerned, that's the biggest one we're going to see for quite some time, is nobody else is really working on anything super huge. That BKB, actually, that I was talking about for DDX a million years ago, is going to be picked up eventually, and it's about time. I really think he needed this a long, long time ago. It would have helped him win quite a few fights, or at very least have a chance at winning them. But I suppose since you do get it later, you're going to have the longer duration BKB when the fights matter, so maybe that also plays into it. Isurus will keep on farming behind their Juggernaut, Pepita. Going to get Boots of Travel at some point or another, but yeah, there's your Aegis gone. He'll buy Boots, he'll fly them out to him. Not sure where his phase Boots actually went. Looks like he sold them or something of the sort. But yeah, Boots of Travel should be the order of business for Pepita. Tier 2 tower up towards top, going to be pinged out. Sad Void's going to put a lot of pressure onto this, and at this point, I'm not sure Isurus really want to contest this per se. Tier 2 tower just falls too quickly, and isn't important enough to really do anything about it. They'll wait for the high ground, and probably the right choice. They'll actually glyph this one, not expecting SV to go for a high ground push. Maybe they do, though. Gix is going to be flying out an extra item towards himself, a Demon Edge one at that. And, well, maybe they have themselves an opening. With no glyph, Tier 3 tower up towards top could be in for a bit of a pickle. We have Rubik splitting up, invising in with the Storm. They do catch vision of this with the Sentry Ward. They know that Storm Panda is close, and, well, that's going to be about it. They throw up the Legion Commander. Will they actually go for an assassination onto the Legion? However, they'll purge her down, pounce onto her. Are they going to do so? Defensive swap from fullback is going to buy Legion Commander a little bit of time, but they already forced at the BKB. And now the swap. Cogs are going to be thrown out by the Clockwork. Dumpster trying to escape. The Healing Word is stolen by the Rubik, but thrown up to the air. It's the Slark to lose his life as he gets dueled up by Dulce in a disaster for Sad Voids. And that's going to mean that they can't actually go for much more. Up to the high ground, he finds the Rubik. Pepita going to jam it in with a double kill. There's buyback on the Rubik and the Slark, however, but Sad Voids are going to find themselves in the short end of that exchange stick. They still have to cater towards mid and deal with the lane that's constantly pushing in there. But then again, things are still looking okay. For Isurus, they found themselves the pickoffs that matter, but now they need to do that again, and after forcing out buyback too. Well then, we'll have to see if they're able to do so. Clockwork going to be hookshotting around throughout the map, is with that Aghanim Scepter, he can't afford to do so, but his team are going to need him sooner rather than later. They're for sure going to lose this tier 2 tower. I don't think there's really any doubt that Isurus are going to be able to mop this one up. Ooh, Juggernaut hunting. He has the butterfly activated, running at 522 movement speed very easily, but yeah, just look at that attack speed. My goodness, that's redonkulous. Almost max, or getting close to it. Actually, max is 600 now, isn't it? So, still has some way to go, but still slap chopping away. Isurus going to find themselves that tier 2, but nothing more, as the Slark's going to be respawning soon, and this time he will have buyback if he really needed to use it. So yeah, just not a situation that Isurus are going to be comfortable in. 48 minutes in. Juggernaut's starting to pull up gold, but it's not really going into anything. Legion Commander not really getting any bigger. Really, this story is all about the Slark and the Jug. It really depends on who catches out who gets the initiation, who has the better defensive supports behind them. And, well, we'll have to see what that's going to be. Legion Commander going to be pinged out, has Avenge as well as Skywrath. They're going to hookshot in, find fullback, and with the battery assault running as well as that blade mail, fullback is completely gone. Gexus going to find himself a pretty slick pick. Smoked up with the rest of his team, or rather the rest of his team smoked up behind him. Maybe they look for even more. They'll counter push bottom with a flare, and they won't find anything else. They're just going to pop the smoke and have that bottom lane. Alrighty then, without those defensive swaps, killing off the Jug is a lot easier for Sad Voids, but fortunately enough for Isurus, that's only a level 11 Vengeful Spirit 50 minutes into the game. So, she'll be back soon. I mean, this is one of those times where maybe you're happy that you're so under-leveled. It's actually quite impressive that they're so low-leveled. It's probably because they just end up dying as soon as these fights start, and they don't actually benefit from the experience inside those engagements. 50 minutes in. SV are not going to push high ground since the Venge is back up. Instead, they'll back off and look towards Roche. They can take it pretty darn quickly, but is it quickly enough before Isurus can actually spawn? I think the course of action needs to be smoke up immediately and go into the Roche pit. That is going to be the case. Isurus are going to be running straight for it, and well, this could be a big clash that might be game deciding depending on who wins it and in what fashion. Clockwork Flare is going to fly out. They're showing the Skywrath Mage in mid, but he was smoked up. They know the enemy team is smoking, but they still might find Gix. He pounces over, ults over the sidelines, but he's stuck on the cliff. They'll lift up one defensive swap from fullback. They finger into the Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit is going to lose her life, but now with the Sweat, they are going to lose their Rubik in return. 1-for-1 supports, but now Slark is joining for it again. Is going to be able to get the bounce onto Dulce. Dulce turning. He has the duel, but can't do it. BKB is not going to save you from the Slark as he goes to town. Gix stealing 13 essences from the enemy team, and now Brewmaster going to be back into his normal form very shortly. Brewmaster is going to get his shot perfectly timed by Gexus, and now DDX is completely gone, and the stolen split too. Kezi has been very diligent about getting that off, and now it's time for Sad Voids to make a stand and maybe even end this game. They could probably just push straight down bottom. Don't wait for Roshan, just go for it. Just go. The safe move is to go for Roshan for sure, but I don't think he enforced buybacks that way. I don't know. They'll go for Roshan. That's completely reasonable. Maybe I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. Roshan is going to be taken out very fast as they'll slap him down. And it should be an Aegis for the Slark. I don't think there's really a better target for him, but yeah, drop the Shadow Blade, pick up an Aegis. There you go. Gex going to snag that one up for himself, and now he has that secondary life. He should sell that one or pass it to one of the supports. Rupert going to pick that up and then cheese for Nightstalker? Yeah. At least for now, that's going to be the case. Maybe they pass it over to Clockwork at some time in the future. Speaking of the clock, he probably should buy an item. Yeah, 5k gold, it's really not useful to be sitting on that. That could be most of a scythe. Alrighty, Sad Void's going to push down towards bottom. It's not really getting any better for them. You have an MKB up for Gix, and you have pretty much everything. Hookshot in, they found Skywrath Mage in mid, but then again, Gexus is probably bitten off more than he can chew. The Ghost Stepper's going to save him. Force Staff doesn't get all the way down to the low ground, but he'll survive. Fullback was thinking about a swap. Can't find it. Blink in, lift. They found Pepita. Where's the defensive swap? They drop the split. BKB on the Pepita. They're going to duel up one. Zap Brannigan fighting up against Dulce. It's a fight that he's not winning. The splits are everywhere. The Brewmaster Pandas are wreaking havoc, but who's actually going to come out on top? Gexus is low. Not low enough. Hasn't actually fallen as they start focusing over onto the Juggernaut. That's going to be a death on the Jug. He buys back instantly. Gix still hasn't lost his Aegis. Is in fit fighting shape. The Brewmaster splits are starting to wear off. The Dire one is about to go out immediately. He's going to focus in Idera, going to 3-shot him with 26 Essence Shift. And now go into the Brewmaster, absolutely ripping him a new one. DDX can't do anything. Gix is going to lose his Aegis here, and when he loses his Aegis, he is going to lose those Essence stacks, but still going to be more than healthy enough to fight. Dulce is going to lose his life with the Finger of Death flying through. They lose the Rubik in return, but now the Jug needs to be treading very carefully. Isurus buyback on pretty much everybody, and it looks like Gexus is going to lose his life unless he hook shots out for enough. Then, Nightstalker's dropping low, but is going to survive. Isurus defend. but it costs them a lot of buybacks. They're going to Abyssal up Gexus, and they are going to be able to get this kill under the clock, or are they? He force staffs up. He has another hook shot. Can he go to the creep wave? He is going to land it. And, well, rightfully so. Going to be a very favorable trade for Sad Voids, and they're anything but sad. It really feels like they're so close to officially breaching the high ground, or ending the game, rather, to get the tier 3 tower. And although it's a defense, in theory, it costs them 3 buybacks, and buybacks on important heroes too. And also keep in mind that when Jug bought out, he was off of timer from a previous buyout, so his next timer is going to be incredibly long. MKB purchased up by the Jug is starting to replace out those other items. The Mask of Madness not really that useful anymore, since he does have a Vlad's for the lifesteal coming out from the Brewmaster, and he just wants a way to fight through this butterfly coming out from the Slark. Slark already sitting on that Monkey King bar, as we saw in that last fight, was enough to win him a man fight with Pepita, with or without second life. The cheese, I believe it was popped in that last engagement. I didn't see when it was used exactly, but it doesn't look like SV are sitting on it anymore. We'll see a smoke out from Isurus, as they want desperately to find a pickoff, and they need to do so. Can they actually do it? I don't think that they will find anybody, since there's just nobody close, or nobody that's going to be close in the near future. And if they jump on the Slark with backup, that's not a comfortable fight that they can take. The Clockwork Flare going to fly over the top, doesn't scout anybody out. And maybe this is what they need. The Night Stalker walking over through the sidelines, but they'll find the Clockwork as well as the Slark. They don't get detection onto Gix. He's going to turn into Pepita. He's lifted up Abyssal down. He's inside the Cox Tower. They pulled him back, and oh, the duel going onto Gexos. Gexos is going to lose his life. Now the Omnislash flies through. Gix going to survive. The Juggernaut actually didn't get that many bounces off of it. Dumpster going to try to drop a finger before he falls. In the end, he is going to die. Dulce eats a finger to the face before the Lion ends up dying. Pepita's trying to TP out. He is going to succeed. Omnislash stolen by the Rubik. My goodness, getting all of the good spells this game. And that's going to be Dulce's death, or will it? One more right click coming out. It is going to be that. And Isurus are currently only the Juggernaut. 100 seconds on cooldown for the Legion as well as the Brewmaster. I think they might have done it. The Juggernaut is all that stands between SV and ending this game. That last fight previously where they spent all the buybacks is about to haunt them, and now they have the Shadowblading Slark. He has no Abyssal at the ready, and with the Sentry Ward, not actually going to be able to find that, but still, very scary. Very scary. Bottom lane is right for the taking. They'll be able to take it, and top lane as well if you really want to go for it, but why not just end? You have 60 seconds or 70 seconds before the Brewmaster and 80 seconds before the Legion. I don't think it's out of the question to actually just straight up hit the throne, as long as you have everybody. But if you don't have everybody, why not just throw the Slark up towards top? They have the Skywrath Mage close, but Sky, I think you might just be dead. Gix isn't actually going to dive that one. The Juggernaut was up towards top. I think he could have made that. But either way, we're going to slow down. Juggernaut's down towards bottom. He's looking for the Night Stalker. Can't actually find him, though. The reduced vision now silenced up. They're going to turn. BKB popped by Zap Brannigan. Can I actually fight this? I don't think so. He's getting a couple too many misses. Fly it over. The Slark sure can. The Abyssal and down. Pepita. He's going to survive with a defensive swap, but not for long. He's going to get force-staffed in. The defensive play coming out from Isurus isn't enough. The healing ward. They just need one more attack from Gix. They can't find it. Juggernaut survives, but everybody else dies. And Brewmaster and Leech Commander are still on the sidelines. They'll just go for the jugular, or rather just go for the mega creeps, go for the safe play, and well, they'll be able to do it. Tier 4 tower is already down. Jug needs to defend against this. The hookshot's going to miss, but who cares? Sad Voids have done it. It's going to be 1-1 inside the series. Honestly, I don't see Isurus coming back from this. The Jug, especially if he gets hexed and lifted up into an Earth Spike. Omni Slash going to give him a taste of his own medicine, and the finger. Pepita not down yet. Returns the Omni Slash, going to be thrown over to the Ghost Scepter of the Clockwork, and well, that's about it. He's going to be able to make it back to base, but only just. Gex has cogs in a couple of the Brewlings, but doesn't actually finish it. They'll duel up Gex, but at this point, it's only formalities. The creeps are not focusing on the Ancient. Zap Brannigan's doing his darndest. Can they actually do it? They buy back onto the Slark and should be able to TP him back in. The duel is stolen by the Root, but can't actually do it. And well, at this point, I don't think Slark is going to go into that, because that would probably be the easiest way to lose this game. Is just to throw your bodies at the enemy throne. They'll end up exercising a little bit of caution and will fall back, but really it does feel like this game is in the bag for Sad Voids unless something amazing happens for them, which you can't count out entirely. We'll see. The desperation push coming out from Isurus. This is pretty much the last move that they can feasibly go for, but look at the speed that they push out these lanes. This doesn't feel like 58 minutes into the game, at least as fast as Pepita is chopping through the heroes compared to the creeps. Nightstalker buys back. They have buybacks on their 2 supports too, but honestly I don't think they'll need to use them. Isurus, best case scenario, I think you get 1 lane of barracks here, but I don't think you even get that. That really is best case scenario. They'll be grouped up. This is 5 versus 5, but, well, Isurus' 5 Dulce is currently lagging behind since he was on creep control duty. The top lane's pushing in, and they probably just need to go tier 3 and then go throne. Dumpster jumps in for an Earthspike, catches out too. Does he actually do anything though? The BKB's galore. Now Dumpster looks like he's going to lose his life. He has to go Scepter, going to force staff out. Blink in for the clap, hookshot into the Juggernaut. What a crazy fight. As far as position is concerned, they have Abyssal DDX, and they're going to be able to bring down the Brewmaster. Jug TP's back to base, and for now, Isurus hang on, but only by 1600 HP on their throne. They lose all of their supports in the meantime. Yeah, that just happened. All those mega range creeps doing a number to force Skyrock Mage. Pausing. Disconnect coming out from the sky. I assume that's GG. Haha, aga, GG. Coming out from Isurus. It is going to be a 1-for-1 in the series. Unfortunately, that is all that we have today. Thanks for sticking through to the end. A very long and frankly exhausting game coming out from both of these teams, showing that they do have the potential to take games off of each other, and well, don't get free farm to safe lane carries, kids. It ends games. This time it was a slug. First game it was a troll for Isurus. 1-1 is going to be our final score. If you like the casting you see here, you can follow me at GrandisV and here on HeflaTV, at Twitter, Facebook, and pretty much everywhere else. YouTube.com/HeflaMoke is where the VODs will be uploaded. Especially if you want to watch these games again, that's where you can find them. Thanks for sticking through with us, and we'll be back sometime this week, but at least for tonight, that's going to be it. GrandisV signing out.